Hey AJ, I was just gonna kind of go over some things real quick. So I've got your file opened up. Not sure if you've ever compared, but I downloaded a stock 2012 ZL1 file. Gotta be careful because the different operating system can have small changes that aren't related to what the tuner did, so not everything's accurate. So I'll maybe show you something there. So let me go to compare recent files, and then this is the stock one I downloaded. So one quick way to see what was done: you compare, view comparison log, and you can kind of see everything in general that was changed. It's a lot of stuff. Just a quick rundown of what I noticed. So right here, he's got the speed density off, so it's pretty standard on these newer cars to run it in just math mode. I've done it. There's really nothing wrong with it. You just need to make sure the math aspect of it's lined out really well, or else you'll get lean pops or it running rich, stuff like that. So you can also tell that the VE wasn't tuned. If you go to speed density, none of these were changed. These would be green if you had tuned that. So something I noticed in your log file that we briefly talked about was popping, and field trims are all over the place. And something I noticed just at a quick glance, that's kind of what I would be trying to tackle first, is you'll notice here that even when you're getting into light boost, air fuels go really lean, and you have power enrichment not coming on. That is a problem. You've got no power enrichment coming on until later. Not even any on this part throttle pull. So you'll be up in a couple pounds of boost, and it's running in closed loop, which you can see with it cycling back and forth here on the O2 sensors. So I'd be trying to make sure the settings for the power enrichment were soft enough to where when you're starting to get into boost, it kicks in enrichment quick. You're not going to get the best fuel economy here, but it'll give you that fuel you need to keep the engine running properly. So here's a little bit of a watt pull you did. Something kind of funny going on with the timing. I'd see if you're getting some knock here. I didn't see you logging knock, so that might be something. I'd go through your settings and get rid of some of this stuff and then put some basics on. You need to have knock retard on here so you can see what the computer's doing. And it might be fine, but timing typically doesn't go down, come up, go down, and go up. So it might be traction, could be knock. But also right here, right when you start to open the throttle, wideband goes lean. And you can also notice on your injection pulse, right in this area, it kind of comes up, but dips a little. So this you might need to work on getting this injection quantity up. So also at this point, your long-term field trims are showing plus 20 positive fuel, and it's still lean. So, the math might need some massaging there. I noticed multiple times around the 30 pounds a minute, you have it going lean. So that area needs some work on the math table, which you can see. Stock compared to what your tune is, and if you do show the differences, there's like no differences, and then a decent amount of changes, and then no differences. So the area that needs work's actually right here, where there's not a lot of differences. So this typically on anything with flow, it doesn't just like pop up and then go away. So this area probably needs to be smoothed in a little. And I bet you some of that field trim stuff would go away. Just takes a little time. Personally, I would go through and go and turn off your long-term fuel trims by making this like 250, and then clear out the fuel trims and only work off short-term while you're trying to get stuff ironed out. If you can imagine, short-term is basically instantaneous. Fuel trim, long-term is what it's learned. So if you're trying to tune it today, turn off the long-term so it doesn't learn, and you can just see kind of in real time what the fuel trims are doing. It might make things a little more simple, keep it easy. Let's turn this back whenever you're done, and then you'll be good. But gotta kind of simple things out first. One thing I noticed too on why perhaps that power enrichment isn't coming on, is for one, the throttle on a supercharger. You don't need a lot of throttle to get boost, so I would probably take all these down to like 0.15, right, which would be really crazy all the time and cause enrichment all the time, except for you can then bump up the enable. So you bump up the enable to like 90 kPa for the enable, and that way you can have really low throttle, but it won't kick into PE until you get into almost atmospheric pressure, and then it'll go into enrichment. You might need to massage some of this stuff, but you need to get that enrichment kicking on quickly, and that will maybe help that lean pop. It's probably delayed a little too long, and since the air fuels are off and you're delaying that enrichment, it just goes too lean, and you get that lean pop, which you definitely don't want. So some things I noticed that I'd probably change here is, for right now, get rid of the fuel pump stuff. That's not necessary really for just your everyday logging. I would add in here air fuel commanded. Oh, I guess you got that down yonder. Okay, so that's fine. And everything else looks pretty good. Just getting the air fuels where you want them to be through the math tuning. It's just takes some time. Oh, one thing I would definitely change, so the mass airflow, this is great to log, but you also would want to log the hertz, mass airflow hertz, because this only gives you the output of the math table. So you kind of have to backtrack. You have to find out. So here's where it's crazy lean. Mass airflow, not in hertz, shows 24 pounds a minute. We'd go over to the airflow math table, and you'd have to find the 24 pounds a minute area, which is right here. But see, you'd want to log hertz, because as we change these numbers, it's going to change in the logger, whereas the hertz can stay the same. So, this whole area is kind of where the problem's at. 20s, or sorry, let's call it 6,000 to 8,000 hertz. And like I was saying, you look at the compare file, 6,000 to 8,000 hertz compared to stock. It's very minor changes here, or none down low. So probably just need to iron this table out some, and probably get some really good results on that lean pop. Start with that, turning off the long-term fuel trims. Change that number, and then start with that with log and knock, and see how far you can get. Hopefully this was helpful. A quick little glance. If you can get me some different logs, take a look at it. Be happy to work with you.